Hey guys, this is John. We're back to try to do a little bit more of the channel here. I know it's been a while, but bought an RV, bought a house. It's been chaos. Either way, this is the opener for a 2v2. That's pretty much my preferred method of game type, so you'll see a lot of those coming out in the future. I'm obviously playing random, and I got listed with Protoss. Funny enough, 9 times out of 10 I get Zerg on random. I really feel that's not random at all, but it is what it is. Either way, we're facing against the Terran Zerg, so against Terran I like to go Blink, Stalker, Colossus, Immortal, eventually into Archons. But since there's the Zerg, let me retry that again. Against Terran I like to go Charge Lot, Immortal, Archon. That works great PvP. And then we've got PvT, where I like to go Charge Lots, Blink Stalkers, and Colossus. And then Zerg, basically Adept, Archon, High Templar. But either way, in this game I've decided to do the Blink Stalker Colossus build, and what I'll do is I'll put some Charge Lots for Terran, some Archons for Zerg, and then some Blink Stalkers against the Terran also. So kind of like mesh those two builds together. Generally I'm going to put that pylon by the assimilator whenever I'm worried about Reapers. Kind of decrease the surface area for the entrance into your base. My partner is obviously going Terran battlecruisers. Happy ship, yeah, they win a lot of games. Battlecruisers are really good now. They're getting a nerf in the upcoming patch that stuns them before they teleport. Either way, I'm going the standard fast Nexus, Twilight Council, start up my gateway, and then as soon as I can afford one, get that Stalker out. If I were in the front, I probably would have gone Stalker before Warp Gate, but since I'm in the back, I'm trying to get that Warp Gate going. So I got that Stalker, and then need to chrono boost that Stalker because of that Reaper. Gets there so fast. My expansion's up and running. I can see that one Reaper coming in. It's nothing scary while it's one Reaper. But it turns out this game that we didn't know at the time that it's going to be more than one Reaper. Because neither of us scouted my Protoss, and now we both know it's more than one Reaper, so there's a problem. So I moved the location of that shield battery to cover my minerals. You'll find that it's extremely helpful later. I'm getting my Stalker out there to help my teammate because he was fighting with SCVs. One Stalker really can take out 2 Reapers, but 3 Reapers pretty much take care of that Stalker. So, I chased him off. I'm wondering if that's it. Going to defend my suspension, get my blink research going. And we'll see what happens there. Because I know it's the Reapers again, I put a pylon in the back. I generally do anyway, that's where I put my forge. So I've got 2 Stalkers out, so I'm feeling good against Reapers. So I'm going to go try to kill that Overlord. It's really useful if you can pick off some Overlords. It does hurt the Zerg player quite a bit. I'm trying to fight off those 4 Reapers with my probes, hoping that my teammate will come help, because with the shield battery it's actually almost a fair fight. My teammate sends a whopping 2 Marines, so I have to recall my Stalkers. I'm doing that now. I'm trying to get my probes mining as much as possible, because now at this point those 5 Reapers, I have no chance of beating them with probes. So I get my Stalkers back. 3 Stalkers versus 5 Reapers is a pretty fair fight. The Stalkers should win, but it really depends on the grenades. My teammate finally has a Hellion, which is really the counter to Reapers. Marines are absolutely terrible against Reapers, like, pointlessly terrible. So I'm trying to survive with my macro as long as possible. At this point I'm saying let's go counter, which is great if we're just fighting Reapers. I'm trying to use my Stalkers to pick off those Reapers, but My teammate didn't come with me, and I'm sorry, I'm not on my own camera, but my stalkers got caught by Zerglings, and I was blinking them backwards and fighting while doing some of that macro. The Zerglings come, so I hide my probes in my simulator close to that shield battery. But now there's definitely a problem because I have stalkers against Zerglings, which is really bad. They are, even with blink, stalkers is pretty bad against Zerglings. Yeah, I let those two stalkers go. Unfortunately, I probably should have kept them to defend. But yeah, really, I need my teammate here. I can't really 1v2 for this very long. They got the pylon, which shut down my whole defense there. But the trick for my probes staying alive there is A, they were trying to kill my pylon, but B, I'm trying to give them as little surface area to fight my probes as possible. That's why those Zerglings weren't really committing. Then I blinked my stalkers in there in front of my probes to defend them. Gotta get that pylon up and running. Need to go back and defend my ally because the Reapers went around. It's just a disaster. But now that my teammate has his first battle cruiser out, we can really start being aggressive. And this defense is over. Blink Stalkers versus Reapers, not a fair fight at all. The only advantage the Reapers have is the mobility. So my teammate blinked that battle cruiser into the back, which I think is a really bad call. That probably should have gone straight into the main. Get as much damage as possible, which is he's doing now. So we can go check that out. Yeah, that Zerg player completely unprepared. That battle cruiser can do some real good damage. Again, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of fighting that queen. Definitely shouldn't have chased it. I mean, battle cruiser's goal is to kill workers. And here's my stalkers getting caught by Zerglings again. Very frustrating, but I'm trying to blink them and fight and save them as best I can. You know, I just keep blinking and fighting, blinking and fighting, blinking and fighting. I think that last one gets died. I think it dies, right? Yeah, right there. Right out of range of that siege tank. That's too bad. But anyway, I've now started charge. Nope, charge is finished, sorry. So I can start using these zealots. Very useful. Very good. But anyway, I don't want to go out and pester that. And that's probably a pretty bad use of that battle cruiser, just killing banelings. But whatever. I mean, that battle cruiser really needs to be doing damage on the other side of the map, not killing banelings. But like I said, he has practically no defense. He's got what, 15 Marines and a tank. That's it. So I don't know. That battle cruiser is trying to find whatever damage it can, but I'm pretty sure there is damage to be found in the main base. And now that those overlords have speed, it's pointless. Anyway, because of all the speedlings, I got sentries. Pretty good, pretty useful against Zerglings specifically. Anyway, I'm abandoning the back. I have no interest in it at all. I prefer to expand up the right side of the map. Now that there's Vikings out, this battlecruiser's toast. It's good that he got it out there, but it's pretty much going to be useless until he gets several more. So I'm trying to be aggressive here, put on some pressure, maybe get to these workers, but there's plenty of defense here. Unfortunately, this was too aggressive. I should have just defended my third. But either way, we're getting good damage. It's looking like, in terms of army, you know, mine is not the biggest. So I probably should have left there. You know, I've lost all my zealots now. And then I keep fighting here under the tanks, which was really, really bad call. I lose my observer, I lose my immortal, I pretty much now have zero army. But I have been investing heavily in macro. So what we're looking at here is me having by far the most workers in the game. Warp gate's done. I can now build High Templar because I've been working on tech, so now I have Archons. So I'm pretty much safe on defense here against an unlimited number of Zerglings and Banelings. It's time to start working on upgrades. I've already got level 1 upgrades, so I'm going for 2s. Got the robotics bay to go with my robotics facility, so I'm starting on those Colossus. It's time to send the shuttle out so I can start using my charge lots to harass. There's 2 battle cruisers going up here, so I'm going to go support them with some zealots, and so I can wipe out some anti-air defense and queens, and create, general chaos. So these 4 charge lots are going to go in here and make a mess, and then I pull out that warp prism. So I knocked out that turret for those battle cruisers, which is going to help him a whole lot, and then my zealots just make a mess. Ideally, I want my zealots to kill these infestors here, because infestors are really the big threat against battle cruisers. So I target my zealots on those infestors and I get them both. So that's a huge win. Infestors are like 200 gas apiece. I'm killing the queen, which is the anti-air defense against those battle cruisers. Yeah, we generally this went really well for us. We made a huge mess. My shuttle was shift queued to go back over here and hide. Building a small army next to my 3rd. Now I'm ready to start my 4th. So, got my Templar research for Storm. Ground weapons I forgot them, they are delayed unfortunately. But it's time to start putting out the Colossus, spending my money. So basically I'm going to start building pylons and warp gates. Starting here's my upgrades going. And then I laid another 4 zealots here to go harass again. And these 2 are working on workers, the other 2 were working on zerglings. So I didn't show you that part, but I split them separately so that I could get... the idea is to cause as much chaos with as little work as possible. So zealots going in 2 different places causes a lot of chaos. You think you've defended it, and you realize, oops, you didn't, and then so you have to redefend. And so now we're spreading out to take the 4th. I'm just checking my saturation and Colossuses. Yeah, getting that 4th down is my priority. Right now I'm at 63 workers, so I pretty much have the most of everyone. Zerg is down to 33. My ally is unfortunately at 34, but I'm well ahead there, Terran player, by a substantial margin. So as long as we keep harassing and keep throwing off their game, my macro is ultimately just going to end this game. So right now we're creating a kind of split fight here. My army is going left. While I'm building my 4th, so kind of try to keep pressure off of it. So we'll pressure on the other side of the map. You'll see me roll through the bottom and get that done. So I think I lost my warp prism. I don't remember losing it. Oops. But yeah, here come those pylons and gateways. So I had to build another warp prism. Unfortunately, warp prism harass I'm really not good at, so I lose them too often. But anyway, in terms of upgrades, I seem to be ahead of the game. I've got 1-1 for sure, and Zerg has 1-1. Enemy Terran only has 1. So yeah, I'm definitely ahead in upgrades. Now my 2-2's done right as we push, so I'm really ahead in upgrades. Sending my Archons in here. I really wanted my Archons on the left, but I did still have 1 down there. Unfortunately, against all those Corruptors, my Colossus were completely useless, but we got here before Broodlords, so I can get my Stalkers and stuff working on the Broodlords. That's really important. Those are expensive game-winning units, so that's exactly how we like it. Unfortunately, I missed my friend losing his tanks, but we killed most all these Vikings, which allows him to switch back into battle cruisers. So yeah, this push is really just a feint for me. I could care less. I have huge amounts of money, and my goal is just getting this 4th running. And I'm rebuilding my army here with higher tech units. Dumping my gas into Templar, and there's my next shuttle doing some more harass. And discovering that Terran base there is saturated, so now we're going to do some zealots to go kill that. Yeah, it's not a planetary fortress, so it's going to die a terrible, terrible death to charge lots. Yeah, terrible death. So I'm gonna go up here. Up. Ah, that's what happens. Corruptors keep killing my shuttle. That's really annoying. Anyway, my allies harassing over here with those battle cruisers again. Now that the Vikings are dead. You know, Corruptors counter these battle cruisers fairly well, but really the problem is they can't ever catch the Vikings. Um, so Corruptors are pretty slow, and you can Yamato them, so that's not too bad. You know, you run into a fight, you drop your Yamatos, you fight a little, you teleport out. Not a big deal, but Vikings are always just so far away. If microed well, you can never catch them, never be in range for Yamato, and they deal huge damage. It's pretty brutal. Either way, moving that army out that I was building, built some more robotics bays, which I think the game ends before I get to use them. But I'm going to start pumping out Immortals, I think, on the ground. I'm not entirely sure. I just had a whole bunch of money, and I need something other than gateway units. But, I mean, at the same time, I can continue my shuttle harass with mass charge lot. It's really quite irritating. So, at this point, the other Terran's starting to switch into battle cruisers, but honestly, completely pointless. He's way behind my other ally at doing it, so he has less upgrades. Who's starting trying to go bio. It's just a really bad call on his part. I mean, I could see what he's trying, but I just have too much money, too much army, too much economy, and like I said, he's behind, so he doesn't have enough to start with. And never use Marines against battlecruisers. It is so incredibly bad. You know, it seems appealing. You're like, oh, Marines have the highest damage output in the game. Yeah, but the battlecruisers have now 4 armor, but starting 3. So, like, I think the Marine Gauss rifle does like 5 damage or something. So, a battlecruiser starting with 3 armor is absolutely 100% pointless against the Marine. So since I had so much money, I just threw some zealots in front of this feint here. Kind of clear out some of the ground forces for him. That way his Thors and battlecruisers can work on the air. Because really he needs to be fighting against the air, the Corruptors, the battlecruisers, the Broodlords. So I thought I'd help him with what I could. So I noticed he was definitely going to be pushing and fighting there, so I brought my army around back. Pick off these reinforcements, get these battlecruisers. And we've got a nice pincher going on here, so at this point they quit. This is really the end of the game. They're totally crushed. And it doesn't make any difference at all if I lose this entire army because I'm so far ahead that I can rebuild more. I laid some zealots over here before I pushed in, and they caused chaos. And they were just gonna destroy this Zerg back here, and they were losing this. They already lost the gold. It was so very over. So this is a good example of absolutely abysmal army control and winning with macro only. I just drowned them in units. They didn't fight efficiently. They weren't microed particularly well. I mean, I did micro them, but not well. And like I said, this is a perfect example of just winning through sheer macro alone. They just couldn't keep up with my money. I have 5 fully saturated bases. Well, it's really only 4 because the main's already empty and this one's half empty, but 3.5 fully saturated bases at 18 minutes, and they're pretty much not mining at all. The harass here is keeping them down. They can't keep their outside expansions. They've each lost multiple bases, so they're mining on far less. Matter of fact, we can just make that vision on everybody. I mean, there's 1 base here. This Zerg, this Terran. So Terran has 3 mining bases. Zerg has kind of 1.5. So the Zerg pretty much just trying to go mass air, and yeah, doesn't have the money or gas for it. There's no way. So that's that. In terms of upgrades, yeah, I'm already on 3-3. Everyone else in the game's on 1s. Can't compete with that. I mean, yeah, they got out macroed really hard. Alright, hope you guys liked it, and I'll keep more content coming soon.